Hey, what's good guys? PC Man here, and today I'm getting my PC called the Asmatron machine running again. It's a long story behind the name, but I'll explain it in a different video. It died a little over a year ago, and I slowly found out that the power supply and motherboard got fried. I sent the power supply to RMA and got a replacement, but can't get a replacement board due to an electrical fault. I'm getting the replacement parts from the one on the right, and the one on the left is mine. They are pretty similar, and there's noticeable differences. While my build was dead, a buddy borrowed me this. Yes, it's ghetto, but has decent specs and did what I needed to do and got me by. I'm taking my power supply, graphics card, and hard drive out, and I'm putting it back in my main build now. My graphics card is suspended in the air just with a riser card and an extra long screw. Not the safest, but it made do. Let's begin, shall we? The specs of the replacement build is an Asus Z97B5M-E motherboard, an Intel Core i5-4490 quad-core 3.2 to 3.4 GHz processor, 8 gigs of Corsair Vengence low-profile 1600 MHz RAM, 8 gigs HP OEM 1333 MHz RAM, makes 16 gigs total, a Gigabyte GTX 650 Ti, 2 gigabytes of VRAM, a 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive, 5400 RPM, and powering it all is the Ace Power 520 watt power supply. We are going to be getting rid of the dust. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a long time, if at all. I have here a datavac, and it is awesome. Info in the description. And if you work and are clean a lot of electronics, it is worth getting. I'll make a review on it sometime, but let's start dust busting. That's good enough for now. Let's take this PC and start stripping it. I'm taking out the power supply first. Time to start unscrewing. Now for the graphics card, you're coming out next. Magically undo the screws. If you haven't removed it in a while, it's going to stick and be a little harder to take out. But if we grab it from the back and pull up, boom, and here it is, 650 Ti. I almost forgot, but I have to unplug the cable so I can finish taking out the power supply. Just like so. Try to pull everything, and there's zip ties, so let's remove them. Now I should just pull on the cables like so, and the power supply comes out with ease. Since I've taken out the screws and just removed the heatsink from the board, it should now just be able to pull on it and boom, comes out with no problem. Now that the Mobo is free, I have it just lying here on the table. And now I am lifting up the socket arm to free the CPU to take it out. And now the way I am doing it here, I couldn't get a good grip. This isn't usually how you remove it, but here it is. This is my 4490K. I'm not bothered cleaning it because it doesn't need to be. The thermal paste on there is still plenty wet and good, so why waste it? So here we go. Slowly and gently putting the CPU in the socket. And just like so. Be careful, you don't want to bend or break any pins. And once you have it set on there, it should be good. Close up the socket. And lock down the arm. Corsair Vengence Dominator 4GB 1600 MHz stick.
Today's Monday, right?
Identical sticks. Click, clack. What the fuck? Now I have roughly put it together with my parts in it. I am just testing it to make sure it's all going to work and doesn't have any problems before I put it in the case. Hit the power button. We have post. It even detected the hardware change. It also gave me a CPU fan error because, as you can see, there is a cable in the way. But anyways, now that I know that it works, time to power it off and put it all in the case and make it look pretty. Alrighty, she's all done. Now to see if it will start up. Really, I know it will, but all of you know what I mean. Flip the switch, push the power button. You can hear the disk drive and the hard drives rev up right away. We are just going to wait a second. There we have post. It detected everything just fine. No fan error. It's booting into Windows now. It's going to take a little longer this time because of the OS is trying to recognize the hardware change. Only the motherboard has done that so far. Sometimes Windows will get stuck and doesn't detect the new hardware. It will just sit there and spin forever, but when you restart the PC, then you will have to format the drive you are using, and you won't have a chance to recover or get any information off of it. So that's an example of why you should always back up your data. I'm just going to quickly speed up the footage here. Is ready, and you can never assume anything, but I'm pretty safe to assume it has successfully recognized the new hardware changes. I'm pretty glad I was able to get my main build back up and running again, just a little after a year of not being able to use it. I've been borrowing a build from a buddy now for about a couple of months. Pretty awesome, he was able to help me out with that, but the CPU spec is about a gigahertz under mine, and it's a second gen, a little bit slower, but hey, it worked great for what I needed it to, right? Any second now, we should be looking at a login screen, and for anyone that doesn't want to sit around and wait for this process, I recommend going and getting a snack or going to the bathroom or anything of that sort. There we go, it's done. We have our login screen now. At the moment, I do not have a keyboard, so let me just summon one real quick. Alright, here is the keyboard. let me just log in. There is the desktop. For not running for so long, there is going to be a lot of updates. Oh boy. Here it is, looking all pretty and clean. Could be cleaner, but it's good enough. The cables are pretty nice to manage, not so much in the back, but you don't see them as long as you keep the side panel on and it's not pinching the cables. It should be all good. Not only did I get my first custom build back up and running, it also has a few upgrades. 8 more gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes more of storage, and a new motherboard. Hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more content coming out soon. Have a good one.